It is 31 days until my trial. And what that means for everybody who hasn't followed this story or doesn't know anything about it is that I am facing 13 felony counts in Long Beach Superior Court, which is a state court, charged with sales of a controlled substance and possession with intent to sell a controlled substance. The backstory is I was operating a collective that was raided, much like many others, only in my case I was charged, and I was offered a plea like many other people that take it, and I decided not to because I didn't believe that I committed a crime, and I still don't. And so it's come to the point where we've played Mexican Bluff now for about a year, and they decided to force their hand as hard as they could. They hit me with a really high bail that I wouldn't have been able to make, but for some very wonderful people that sacrificed their life savings in one case and retirement in another case, that bought my freedom for the year, basically. We went through a preliminary hearing where they didn't allow me to present any witnesses, and just recently, prior to or just after I refused to take their deal, they, meaning the prosecution, the state's attorneys, filed a motion to deny my defense, and the judge, Charles Sheldon, approved this motion, granted their motion. So I'm in a situation where in a state court I have no defense of Prop 215 or SB 420, and I'm supposed to be protected by the 14th Amendment, which allows for equal protection of the law, that came out of the Civil War, where people were not created equal or treated as equals. And now all of a sudden in 2011 in Long Beach Superior Court, a judge has decided he gets to take away my 14th Amendment. So now I'm in a situation where if I go to trial, or when I go to trial, the jury will not be allowed to hear the truth of the case, which is that I was operating a medical marijuana collective and was providing medicine to qualified patients. What they're going to hear is testimony from undercover cops who fraudulently went to a doctor and with false ID and a false premise received a valid California recommendation, which put them as a qualified patient, where they entered into my collective, signed, agreed to our collective membership agreement, and came in, and we provided medicine for them. And they're going to be able to present that to a jury in such a way that appears that they went to a pot store and bought it. In a situation where the only real hope I have is what they call jury nullification, which is very difficult to accomplish, but I believe we can do this. We've had 2 or 3 protests already at previous hearings where we were able to gather over 100 people at the courthouse, and we've more or less filled the courtroom every time I've had a hearing. And I believe that if we are able to encircle the courtroom every day of my trial, and we have messages, that say, hey, this is a medical hearing, everybody is allowed protection of the law, and all these sorts of messages that will equate the truth of my case from the outside of the court, and then everybody's got these solidarity ribbons on, and the ribbons are all over the signs. And then when the jury walks past these people, they won't be able to ignore it. Even just our little protest we've had outside the court has garnered a lot of attention, even some media attention. So I know that, as few as 50 or 100 people can make a difference. We need to have, many hundred, hopefully a couple of thousand will make a huge difference. And I believe that if a juror, even just one juror, is affected by this message and they sit in that courtroom, and they're able to understand that they're being denied the truth, that 1 out of 12 of these jurors at least is going to say, wait a minute, that's not right. And they will do the right thing, and they will do what they have a right to do, which is to acquit, to vote not guilty. So I'm in a situation where I need to get a lot of people to come, and I'm not quite sure how to do it. I've reached out to a lot of people in every way I can think of. I've spoken at many meetings, and I've attended other people's hearings, and I've got to find a way to connect with people's hearts and get them to realize how important this is. I know that there's a lot of people who say they care, but they can't come for one reason or another. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when this happens to you, they don't care. When they throw you in jail, they don't care if you have a job. They don't care if you have a family. They don't care if you have something to do. They don't care if you have a hair appointment or a pedicure or a doctor's appointment or anything. They take away your rights. They take away your freedom. They throw you in a cold box. And then they extort, all the money that you have, and you have to come up and get a lawyer, and the hardship I can't even begin to explain. But what it means is, if enough people can make this important, as we've been doing in many people's cases, and just show up and be willing to speak out, this is for all the patients. This is a right that's being stripped away from patients and providers and all of the people that think that they're safe and they're operating their collectives legally, or they're growing their plants under the protection of the law. When they come in and they raid your house and they take all your stuff, all of a sudden you realize that protection really wasn't there the way that you thought it was. And I'm hoping that enough people can realize how important this is before it happens to them. Unfortunately, since this has happened almost 3 years ago, I began this battle. I've had over 50 people come to me after they've been raided, after they've been arrested, and most of them crumble. Most of them don't have the will to fight. And I believe that if enough of us stand up and fight this, and enough of us are willing to stand behind those that are fighting it, I believe that we can actually end this. We can make it unacceptable to law enforcement, to prosecute patients for following the law and growing a plant and providing this plant to others as medicine. So I'm going to ask you today, whoever's watching this, to take a moment and think about it, and see if maybe you can make a decision to come out one day. This trial's going to run for 3 to 4 weeks. Come out for one day, for an hour, for a couple of hours, and join us and be part of this movement. Carry a sign, speak your voice, just sit silently in court, represent, stand up for what's right. This is right, and I'm doing this for all of us. I could have taken a no jail plea and been back to my little life, and I realized that this is important enough to fight for, and I really need your help. I need your help to stand behind me so that my voice is not going to fall on deaf ears, so that a juror is going to see the truth and represented by the support that's behind me. So I'm hoping to tug on your heartstrings a little bit, and please come on out one day at least. Thank you.